let me get this tweeted out so everybody joined in here. 1 second. Ba ba da ba 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 ba. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And, woo, marvelous Monday. Marvelous Monday. So, fresh all time highs in the market today. Amazing stuff. Right? Just another grinder up. But it wasn't after a big, sharp drop at the open, right? But we pointed that out in the group today. We're like, wait a second, guys, let's see if it holds this level and bounces. And it sure did. Right? So, amazing stuff. So, anyway, guys, this week we're going to be following up on the harmonic setups that we talked about this weekend going into earnings. I think you guys are going to like it because it'll be a reinforcement of the harmonic setups. And we'll also take a look at the Elliott Wave, and we'll also see how they end up playing out, right? Wouldn't it be cool if all the ones we looked at this weekend all turn into winners? So that'd be pretty cool too if we guess them all. Then maybe there's something to this harmonic and Elliott Wave stuff. So let's kind of see where we go from there. But anyway, before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. All right, well, first things first, we're going to take a look and see where we left off at the market today. And then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening, what might be setting up going into tomorrow. And then we'll go through the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, guys, so SPX up 21 points today. Look at this green monthly candle just knocking out that bearish engulfing candle from last month. Really amazing stuff. Weekly chart, again, a big bounce here off the mid-Bollinger Band for a good move up right here. You don't see it on here, but it's also a bounce off the 30 weekly moving average, which is a major line in the sand on the weekly chart, right? Daily chart, again, harmonic in its own right? So we got this nice move up right here. So we got this, and this, right? So we're actually at the 1.618 extension on the harmonic move here on the SPX. We'll see if that serves as resistance or if resistance is still futile, and if we continue to make our way up to fresh all-time highs. Back to this old game, right? So we've been doing this one for a while. So, but sometimes it gets a little bit fun. You get a little bit of downside action, and then kind of works its way up here. A lot of folks thought this was going to be the big one, right? But now we got a new, fresh macro upper trend line that we're holding, right? So again, still bullish to proven otherwise, and holding the 80 MA here as well. So, wow, what a wave, guys. This is a huge impulsive wave, like one push up right here. We see it all the time on the intraday charts. For instance, today with like NVIDIA, these check mark reversals, just incredible stuff, right? But you put a wave count on it, right? It starts to make sense, starts to come together in context, and you get this 1-2-1-2 move. Wave 3 up is part of the larger harmonic move that we just pointed out. And now we'll see if wave 3 is done, right? And we actually start a wave 4 down, or if this was wave 4 and we're actually working on a wave 5. But either way, we would still expect this would be 1, 2, 3, 4. We still would expect a pullback at some point. So, so we'll see how it goes. We're getting a little bit spoiled here with all these gap go, gap go, gap go, gap go, down a little bit, and then up, back up again, right? So we did that today. It's pretty wild stuff. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. And again, like I said, missed a character there. So there we go. So let's take a look here and see what we had, guys. So the major area right here. So these are levels that we point out in our group. We provide these in the bubble report each morning. We also put them in our Discord in the morning. Very, very important levels. These are what we call, supply and demand zones, or what we like to call signal zones, that, are support and resistance, potential support and resistance areas, right? So areas of interest, right? So we got nice and consolidated here. We got this rally-based rally, and we came all the way down this morning with a sharp down move. But because we held our levels right here, including the value area low, right, one of our market profile volumetric levels, we got a nice bounce off of that. And when we started to see the bounce with strength, right, with a nice candle and a strong candle, right, we started to get pretty bullish. And the fact that we got all the way with this sharp drop at the open, which was looking pretty bearish, the fact that we kind of came up and got all the way there, consolidated above it right here, and continued to push is pretty impressive, right, to say the least, right? So again, amazing stuff right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things. We're going to go ahead and stretch out this upper trend line right here. And then we're going to go ahead and put a fresh geometric line here on the way up and just kind of track these going into tonight to see if they can hold. We're basically just riding this line up right now. If you really want to, you could actually make that a channel. right? And just kind of ride the channel up right here, but that's pretty steep right there. So just kind of keep an eye on it, see how it holds this geometric line and how we go into this evening and into tomorrow, right? So, but generally, still bullish until proven otherwise. So cool stuff there. So good. So let's go back to the topic right here. So this week we're going to be talking about not harmonicas, but harmonics, and we're going to be following up on those that this week that we looked at. So the first one, we're just going to take a look at. We'll take a look at. Yeah, we'll kind of do a little bit of overlap on those. So we've got tomorrow, right? We've got today we had Facebook, right? So let's take a look at Facebook and see what it did here after hours after earnings. Now, if you go back to our harmonic move, we're generally pretty bullish on this name. So we got a nice push up right here. It actually had a kind of a sharp decline, right? The market maker expected move was about 20 points, and we got about a 20-point move, and then we kind of retraced back down here, but generally still holding up going into tomorrow. This definitely gives us some interesting levels to keep an eye on. So we're basically at the 332 area right now. So we're going to see how that holds. But let's take a look here at what we were looking at on the daily chart here. So let's go to the harmonic setup that we discussed yesterday. Here, so if you guys recall, Facebook, what we liked about this is that you could see off of this initial drop right here. I love this nice smooth drop line right here. And then from there, we retraced the 382 extension, right? And we came right back up to that 382 area. And then we gapped down after the snap earnings, but we still held, look at this, right off of the 886, a perfect bounce off the 886 retrace, which I really like. And that gave us a nice move here today. And so now what we're doing is we're expecting to ride up this CD wing here with some impulsive upside action, right, using Elliott Wave. So again, it's very possible here, right, that this move here is a 1-2, and if we gap up tomorrow, that we could be starting a wave 3. So we'll see if we get a push up tomorrow. We're in that 332 area. We'll see how that holds. If we get a little bit more upside, then maybe a little bit of a retrace, and we see if we can buy that dip, and then we would look to ride this wave up right here, this wave 3 of 3. And see how long we could ride that up, potentially up to the 1.618 extension. So right now I just have this at a minimum of a 618, right? The 382 can go all the way, a 382, 886 can go all the way to a 3.618, which take us all the way up pretty close to that 420 level on this one. But in the meantime, the first target is generally right here, which is pretty much an open gap, I believe. Yeah, we got an open gap right here. So kind of this 363, 364 area. So we'll see if Facebook can work its way up here. If we get a nice gap, we have a good strong candle that closes tomorrow. I would definitely look to be bullish on Facebook, especially even if we get a pullback tomorrow when it holds the pre-market lows or holds the lows of the open. Facebook is definitely one to keep on the radar tomorrow. So again, having a gap up into this bullish CD wing really confirms that the harmonic and the Elliott Wave count was looking pretty good going into earnings. Right, so we got two coming up tomorrow, right? So we've got AMD. Remember AMD had two harmonics on this one, right? So we had this, which is a bullish harmonic right here. We already got to the 2.618 extension, right? So we had the 382, 886 pullback here similarly, and we're at the 2.618, right? So this could be resistance right here. It's possible that this is just finishing up here with a butterfly type pattern, or it may want more upside and go all the way to the 3.618 up to the 131. Area. So we'll see how that goes going into earnings tomorrow. If it stays strong, right, maybe we'll get a gap up and a nice little push into earnings. So we'll see how that goes. Now, we did have an alternate count on this one, and that was this, that was showing a bear corner. This is invalidated today, right? This is the big level, right? We wanted to make sure it held these highs, and we pushed above the prior highs right here. What that does is that no longer makes this harmonic, right? It takes out that whole wave count on this one, or this whole harmonic count on this, and no longer has this as the wave count. So right now we're basically just tracking the bullish wing of this harmonic here, and then we'll see what we get. Right now, if it is a 2.618, that's a butterfly pattern, then our first retrace, if we gap down off of earnings, that's fine, because this has already fulfilled its harmonic move. If we gap down, then we would look for a 382 move down, and then a 618, and then ultimately the 1.13 extension here below the low. So that's still there is still potential for bearish action on this. So this is actually a bearish pattern right here. But like I said, we'd like to ride the CD waves for a nice momentum move once we can identify that a harmonic may be working, and then incorporating the Elliott Wave could be helpful there, right? And the other one too, of course, we got Google. So Google again reporting tomorrow after hours as well. So we definitely want to keep an eye on this one. This was overall a bearish CD wing that we're looking at going into earnings tomorrow. So let's see how this holds. Right, Paul was also looking at this one as a wave 4 move, right, which actually happened to correspond precisely with the 1.618 downward extension anyway. So we're still generally leaning a little bit bearish on this one going into earnings, but you never know, right? So, but let's see how these harmonics counts slash Elliott Wave counts end up playing out. So anyway, guys, good stuff. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in last night. And if you didn't see last night's show, definitely check that out. We've got that on posted on YouTube, and it's also in the public Twitter stream there. So check that out. And hopefully you found this helpful, this follow up. And tomorrow we're going to check on AMD and Google, and then we'll probably look at some of the names that are setting up the next day, like Boeing and stuff like that. So good stuff. At this point now, if anybody's got any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can. Try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. All right. So Ota sending a few in here via Twitter. So let's take a look at a couple of these. So mRNA had a little bit of a move after hours on some sort of news, but it still looks pretty choppy right here. Big candle here today. Big bar there. Decent move. Basically coming back to the top of this this flag, right? So let's see how it holds right here. Basically right at the cloud. If it ends up rejecting that and kind of giving a sharp down move, it may work its way back to the bottom of the cloud, and then we'll see where we go, or back to the bottom of the flag, and then we'll see where we go from there. Goldman Sachs was interesting. We were looking at this one for a potential breakout here today. Once it cleared this level and this level, it just had no strength on the intraday, right? Gave us a nice push at the open, right? And then look at that. Do we like to trade off of big upper shadows? No, right? We wanted to see this close above key levels here with strength, and then look to ride that to the upside. Then we end up getting kind of this little tweezer top type pattern and just kind of being blah here for the rest of the day. So Goldman Sachs, although it's looking interesting, it's just not quite there yet. At this point now, I want to see it over the all-time highs with some strength. So we'll see where we go from there. Otherwise, may pull back a little bit to the 8 EMA. Starbucks, let's take a look. And Starbucks looking pretty interesting here too. A little bit of an invalidated harmonic there with that little kind of undershoot on this one. So let's just see how it moves itself up right here. I mean, the big thing to kind of track right here is this geometric line. See if we get above that through the cloud and kind of get going again. Otherwise, back below the, if we can get back below the 200 day, it might get a little bit blah, right? So we got that going on. And then we got Spot on the radar too. Yeah, nice bounce off the ADMA today. Good volume. Could give you a little bit of an earnings run, so definitely want to keep an eye on there. And Marriott, so MAR, below the ADMA, but if it starts getting going over the ADMA, might want to get a nice move up. Oh, look at that. We have a harmonic on this one here too, right? So we had the 2.618 extension. So kind of like a butterfly pattern on this one. And then we'll see how it goes here. If it can get above the 80MA with any strength, maybe we can get a move into for an earnings run on that. This is a tricky name to day trade. So this is kind of one you have to have a position on. But good stuff there. Awesome. And appreciate it, Otas. And Shirley sent a few in via email, so take a look at those. Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. Yeah, XPEV was epic today, right? So again, just still continued strength on the Chinese electric vehicle names. So this is one of the best ones here today. LCID, nice breakout candle here above the geometric line. Just watch the upper shadows from previous. Coin, again, another breakout candle today off of the last move. Pretty epic stuff off the bounce off the ADMA. Plug looking okay there with the push up to the 200-day moving average off of the 80MA, but look at that as potential resistance. And then SPWR. So SunPower here again, inside day up. Again, the tan sector, the solar sector was pretty decent here today too, but it's also off of a pretty epic run here as well, so be careful chasing. So good stuff there. Really appreciate it, Shirley. Hope you're doing great out there. Michael Phillips, what's going on? Silly gains with BKKT today. Let's take a look. Woo! Look at that one. Awesome. Good job on that. And crazy, crazy name. I love it. So good job there. And it won't stop. I know it's still going after hours. My goodness. It's up to 53 after. What is this thing? What is this? The BKKT. MasterCard partners with BAK to bring cryptocurrency payments to the masses. Well, that's about as bullish news as you could get right there. Oh my goodness, if they only did an NFT thing as well and then partnered with Tesla and Hertz rental car, this thing would have been up to 100 today. And then and Truth Social Media, right? This thing would have been just like to the moon. So incredible. But yeah, nice find on that one. I love it. Good job. And Mike Flynn, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you got Tesla. I know, I love it. Good job on this one here today, guys. We pointed this out bright and early this morning, 9:34 at the open with some bullishness on this one. We actually put it as a swing. I didn't think we'd get to 1,000 today, honestly. I thought we'd get there pretty soon, maybe like by Wednesday. But I mean, this thing just squeezed like 100 points today and just kept on going. It was here in the afternoon. It was through this triangle right here. As you see, but guys, we've talked about Tesla a bunch, right? I mean, when Tesla's ready to go, and pretty much for any name, once you see this 15-minute chart do this, right, it's time to get really interested, right? So this is nice here after the open. You had good increased volume right here. It wasn't quite double the increased volume, so you kind of had a little more sideways action. But here, this is like we went from 800,000 contracts to 1.8 million, right? So well more than double the range on this one, and that gave us the triangle move after it. And then this one was like quadruple the range, 400,000 to like 2.1 million, right? So just a huge move on this one, and then that was the go to Fresh Alt to get to 1,000 off of that. In fact, that was already through 1,000, so it was just like, see ya, right? So very, very nice move. So again, you can we look at the debit spreads on these. You can look at straight options. The straight options are tough, guys. Especially on a name like Tesla, they're expensive. You pull back, they're like $20 right here. You pull back, you're on set, to $17, right? But you trade the spreads, right? We were in at like $1.98 this morning, and you just kind of these aren't as painful. You still get up to like $6, over $6 on it. I mean, has anybody ever complained about a 3x move, right? How many 20x moves do we really catch, right? But when you can consistently catch 2x, 3x moves, 4x moves, right? Using the debit spreads, and you're safer and can manage the position a little bit better. It turns into a pretty good trade, right? So good stuff there. And let's take a look at Amazon. So Amazon. So a little bit of a pause day after the breakdown from Friday. It was a beautiful breakdown. It was kind of sitting on the 200-day moving average. Again, I wasn't expecting this thing to go super far down, but I really liked the pullback. I was expecting the 80 MA, and then the 50-day was a bonus and on Friday, and then a little bit more. It was great. Now we're at the 200-day, so let's see how that holds. And again, prior resistance right here may be support. So we'll see how that goes here for Amazon. And Google, we just looked at. Again, generally leaning a little bit bearish here on this harmonic edge. Again, got a death cross right here, the 8 through the 50-day. Just kind of riding that harmonic wing down. So again, I'm not saying short it into earnings, but it is definitely showing a bearish pattern here. So we'll see how that goes. Two bearish patterns, right? The Elliott Wave and the harmonic on that one. So definitely something to keep an eye on there too. And then Michael, OCGN. Let's take a look and see what else we got here. Yeah, big candle on that one today. This one's up after hours as well. Very, very nice move there. Mark, that's a painful reversal if you bought the highs on that one. Ouch. PLTR actually ended up having a good day today. This one is tough, right? I was actually looking at shorting this thing off of the 50-day here today. I still think it's possible it may go down. I think we are working on this part of a harmonic move. We're right at the 382 extension and the 50-day, but it did have a good day today, so we'll see if the memesters can get this one going. But if it does start to show indications of a pullback, kind of keep an eye on it there, see if it does an 886 retrace, and then we'll see if it gives a big bounce off of that, right? So that could be pretty cool there too. Otherwise, it's just kind of doing its little grindy thing up right there, but it was a nice inside day up today. Net. Again, big push there today. Fresh all-time highs on that one. Very, very nice. And then skills to pay the bills. With a great move above the 50-day moving average. Doji sandwich up today. Can't complain. So very, very good stuff there. Hey, look, Sarah, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing great, and thanks so much for the kind words. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I love helping people when I learn stuff. I like teaching and just spreading the love and spreading the knowledge. So really, really good stuff there. Thanks for tuning in. And Robbie, what's going on? You got FedEx on the radar. Just kind of really just grinding its way up right here, getting into the gap. So let's see if we continue to go. I mean, it's just pretty nice stuff. Overall, it had a pretty good volume here the other day. Right, it's kind of slowly grinding its way up here on FedEx into the gap. So we'll see if that continues. And then Square had a hot dog pattern today, right? So that's a reversal. So here's the bun, here's the hot dog, and here's the bun, right? So you had that today. So basically a 180 move, a reversal of a reversal, right? So a nice push up there. See if it breaks over today's highs and continues its upside movement, maybe for an earnings run. So definitely shook out some hands on Friday, though, for sure. Just nasty, nasty price action. So it's good stuff there. Armando, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. You got ATVI on the radar as well. So again, strong candle, good push, good volume into the daily cloud. Now we just want to see if it's ready to make an earnings run into next week. And then you've got Disney on the radar. Looking okay, decent volume back over the 80 MA. It was getting crushed there for a while, but held prior support. So let's see if that continues to work its way up. And Lulu, this is on our bullish radar going into today. We like the inside day, possible jack in the box. And we got a nice push up on that here this morning too. So it's a very, very nice on Lulu. Jameis, what's going on? Good to see you. You got TTD on the radar. Let's take a look. TTD with an inside day. Back over the 50 days, still under the 80 MA, kind of stuck into the cloud right here. Be careful with this name. It's very, very tricky to trade. You've got to have a good position on it. And you're stuck in the middle of the range right now, right? So you got these levels right here. You got this level right here. So it's really tough to say which way it's going. But if it's breaking out or you can catch a bottom on it, it might be interesting as well, right? So definitely something to keep an eye on there. And let's do this. What's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Mr. Softy. So Microsoft looking interesting, getting kind of tight up here, right? So let's see if it kind of can flag here for a little bit for us and then maybe give a breakout and kind of get going on Microsoft and Riot. Let's take a look. So Riot with a decent little push here today on the Bitcoin news or the Bitcoin move, and then I couldn't get over the 50-day yet, but let's see if we can get above that and kind of get strong, get through the cloud, and get going, and maybe get to the 200-day. Right, so definitely keep those on the radar as well. So good stuff. Wow, awesome. Great chart request tonight, guys. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the Harmonics and Elliott Wave combination here. We're going to do follow up this week on the charts we looked at already. Facebook giving a little bit of upside follow through, so we're going to definitely keep a track on that today to see if dips are buyable and to see how it closes to see if it's ready for a swing trade. But you still have to have some risk as it goes into some of the other earnings names going into this, like Apple, Amazon and all that, which could affect the whole tech sector, right? So, and could just bring Facebook down in sympathy. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, guys, good stuff. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Awesome questions, chart requests, comments. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you here on YouTube bright and early tomorrow morning for the Good Morning Market Prep video. And until then, stay healthy out there and remember your risk first and stay safe.